Recording in progress. Dave is
Daver, from the balmy coast to the frosty hills of New Jersey. How you doing
you
up
were
there?
you
Eight
were you
degrees.
were complaining about the chill down there a little bit recently, and I got to tell you,
Gotta
nobody
tell
up here is listening to you because whoa, it got cold, and whoa, it's going to snow, and exciting. So we're going to be shipwrecked. We're going to be marooned. We're going to be snow blind, and then we're going to be doing a whole bunch of shoveling. It looks like on
well, get your shoveling done
Monday,
early
Monday,
because
Monday, Monday.
got a couple good games there tomorrow.
Yeah, oh no, that's going to be in the midst of it. We're just going to be getting it's going to be dumping on us during the game. So then we got to wait till Monday to dig out. And all right, should we recap uh, what happened the last time we spoke to people? Yeah, we got to recap. Actually, we should recap for a little bit. Okay, hey, kickball, not bad. Man U with that big 2-0 victory over Man
Yes.
City. You heard it here first.
Yep.
Nice, plus 255. The other game, close but no cigar. We had a draw in the Sunderland Crystal Palace game, and Sunderland is playing Crystal Palace is playing so badly they lost. So we lost that one, but we had a plus 255 on Man U over Man City. The Man U people are still drunk from that game. They're so ecstatic.
Party,
City
party.
came back today and they won. They were beating Wolves. I saw no big deal there. Although Wolves have been playing very well lately. Sunderland came back after beating Crystal Palace last weekend, and they just got pounded by somebody this morning. I don't even know who it was. Anyway, um, and then moving on to pro football. I thought we were going to sweep. I really did. I had both games on Saturday. So did you. And then you started. Wow, really looked like you were going to sweep, and the Rams let us down. Let us down on
Just barely,
let us down with
lost by that.
the miracle play. You were a
Yeah.
miracle play away from
Yeah.
4-0 in the pros. So
Right.
hats off to Gulf Coast Dave for an incredible week of handicap in the pros. I unfortunately was on Houston. Didn't realize that Stroud was going to just crumble. Just to, play one of the worst playoff games at quarterback that anybody's ever seen. Hey, it
We were
happened.
both saying they should have pulled him.
They were thinking about it. I heard from people that they were thinking about it. They were thinking about it and they didn't do it. Hey, I got to say, he played better in the second half than the first, but that's not saying much.
No, no. It was a slippery ball. You could tell those conditions were weird. It was like that sideways Scotland. Looked like it was, down your nape of the woods there and bloody old England. But it was a nasty day. The ball was slippery, but he was just, yeah, he crumbled. That's a perfect
I know
description.
that New England defense is good, but they're not. Again, they're not the '85 Bears.
Yeah,
They're not the
and they went away from the
defenses
run,
to the
and
Giants.
he can run. You know, he could have run many times
I don't.
where he opted to kind of throw it, I guess.
I said it
Um,
out loud watching the game, and I said, "Well, why aren't they having him run his way out of a slump?
right,
The guy can move, the guy can run. I know he's not crazy about it.
right,
This is how Stroud always will either slide or he goes out of bounds a lot.
right,
He'll never
right.
go for that extra yard. Although there were a couple of cases, even in this game, when he did scramble and he scrambled effectively, he could have gotten a few more yards if he had a little bit of that John Elway in him, which he doesn't. Okay, so that's nothing. That's nothing against him. Very few people compete on the level, but that's the level that on that level. But that's the level that it takes to win a playoff game or a Super Bowl or something. So if you're not willing to do it, maybe you'll never get one.
Or
Uh,
at least cover.
and that seems to be the round of the playoffs that Houston is always bows out. So they bowed out again. Um, I thought a little bit more of their defense actually than what they
Hey,
showed in that
they
game.
were in it for 3 quarters, right? Close
Yeah, they
to
were
it.
in it. They were in the
Yeah.
game. Um, I don't know. The Rams was a struggle. The weather was tough and everything, but
Ah,
they were there and they were covering the number, and it was fourth down, and the guy backed up 25 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and the tight end pushed off in the end zone, and these guys are gutless and they don't make the call. So what are you going to do about that? Another case of NFL referees just stinking up the joint. I hope they don't ruin a Super Bowl. I
I
really hope
hope
they don't
not
ruin
too.
a
I
Super
mean,
Bowl.
I was
They've ruined plenty of playoff games in the last few years.
jumping up and down on a, like you
Here's
said,
the, and we
4 and
talked
0.
about that, but
No,
nobody's talking about that because the Rams ended up winning the game. They won the game,
yeah,
so the play did not determine the winner of the game. It
right.
determined the winner of the point spread, which
Sure.
is a little disappointing.
A
Um,
lot of people were thoroughly pissed off, including myself. I was, glorying in my shutout,
well, how
and it
about the
was
fact that all four home teams covered? And that never happens in this round of the playoffs. It really doesn't. In particular, they're usually crappy on the Saturday, better on the
right,
Sunday, but
right.
crappy overall. Crappy overall in this round, and road teams on Saturday, home teams on Sunday, but overall the home team's not doing that great. Um,
I mean, our
came
Broncos game,
through.
I
It
thought
came through this week.
we were kind of lucky to cover on that one. We were constantly shooting ourselves in the foot, but they got it done.
I'll
Defense
take it.
got it done.
And now the quarterback breaks his ankle,
Right.
which obviously is going to dictate a little bit of what we talk about later on. Um,
But Seattle was a breeze. We covered that that was my pick of the day for sure. I did say that. I loved that game. They covered easily, and a hook away from a really super weekend. But let's carry it in. Let's second string quarterback and all. Here we go.
all right, and let's talk about the college game a little bit.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
told everybody that we
Yep.
thought the thing here, and really, I'm so opposed to rooting for and betting on Miami my whole life. Just don't like them. It's a problem. I can't get that out of my head. But I ended up flipping on that game on Monday night in large part because of the line. In large part because of how well Miami had been playing, but also just because of that point spread. And you know what? We almost needed every one of those points, but I guess they had a shot to win the game. They did have a shot to win the game. I don't understand why he threw that pass on
Yeah.
fourth down.
It was an
You
unmolested
know,
first down,
hate to
forced
see it.
pass. Like we were both said, if we could fucking excuse my language, but fucking Ray Lewis would get out of his fucking face and Michael
Yeah.
Irvin
Well, that
put
whole
those
thing
guys
was,
in a fucking cage in the last 2 minutes at least. Get out of his ear. I
yeah.
mean, I'm not saying that was it, but it came down to that last drive. I wanted Miami to win. We were already covering. And even though we were going down by 10 after that block punt, I mean, Miami came right back and scored touchdowns. I mean, I felt really good about that. I really, laid in on Miami from the beginning. And we both had
You
Indiana. And
convinced me. I was leaning Indiana at first, just thinking, hey, this game seems to be the team that's just on this incredible roll. Then I had to think about the role that Miami really playing well at the end of the year and in the
yeah,
playoff games, and even in this game.
and
Yeah, they made a few mistakes, and it cost them. It cost them.
and they
The,
beat our Rebels, who we thought had a chance to, be the champs, in an
sure.
incredible
Oh,
match.
I think they could have. I think an Indiana Mississippi game would have been great. I think that
Yep.
also would have been a great game.
Yeah.
Um,
As it was a fantastic game. The homers
it
calling
really
the
was.
game.
It really
Everybody
was.
wanted Indiana. Everybody
Yeah.
wanted to lick their balls. And,
Well, it's a great. I mean, it is a great
it's a
story. Come
great
on, it's
story.
Indiana, it's the
Yeah.
Midwest, and they've never been any good in football. And Miami's had their day, and there's a lot of things about Miami that are unlikable. Just
Yep.
period. That's one of the reasons why I don't like them. They're unlikable. You're talking about what they do with these ex players on the sideline.
Yeah. Yeah.
The players, it's like your time is over. Okay,
Right.
you had it, Ray Lewis. Your time should probably be spent in a jail cell right now, but that's just my opinion. Um, anyway, there, I said it.
You said it.
Ray
We
Lewis,
called it. We had the winner.
Ray
David
Lewis,
Dave caps
little,
off.
little
What I
cheese
have to
eater,
say,
little
without
cheese eater
stroke,
that he is.
yeah, without stroking us too much, we
I
had a
mean,
fantastic college football season, spread wise, we did really well. Hope somebody out there made some money off of our picks. We certainly did well, and I was really proud of the way we stuck it out. 5 picks every week is not easy. Um, we did good, especially in the end. D&D very good on college football. Good capper.
Yep, that was fun. Good year. Yeah, we got hot for the bowls. That's for sure. We might have had our struggles during the regular season, but we got really hot for the bowl
You
game.
had a streak there where
Yeah, I did have a
you were
not as
on
good as that one
fire.
guy in the New York Post who had 10 in a row, but I had a pretty good roll going.
Yeah, I
I
think
had a
out of
roll
those,
going right at the beginning, which is scary.
yes,
I was like, well, I got to lose someday. Oh,
yeah,
who beat me? Miami. Miami
yeah,
beat me against Texas A&M. Yeah, that's what
that's
that was.
right.
That was one of the things that made me finally swing over to good old Miami. Oh well. All right, we're gonna look at a couple things going on today, a couple things going on tomorrow for sure. A couple of football games being played tomorrow, I believe.
I'm
Um,
daddy. Here
how
we
about a
go.
couple of kickball games?
Sure, fire away, buddy.
How about I'm gonna give you one. This game's gonna start in like 25 minutes, so there's no way anybody's gonna see it. Hey, bet the game live. Bet the game
Bet
live.
it live.
I'm looking at Bournemouth to be able to do something here against Liverpool. I don't know. Liverpool's kind of turning it around, I guess.
Well, Liverpool has been
You know
turning the
what?
page, much to our chagrin. Yes.
Yeah. Um, there is a game to I kind of root for Crystal Palace in a little bit. They're kind of my team in the Premier League. Well, now Sunderland has become my team to root for. Hopefully,
No,
Sunderland will stay up.
you're staying pretty. Crystal Palace was more last year, but you stay. Sunderland more
Crystal
this year.
Palace
But
started
both
out
you've
this
been,
season really well on the heels of being really good at the end of last year. So where they are now in the table, they've been ice cold. I mean, ice cold. And they're playing Chelsea, but they're playing Chelsea at home. And Crystal Palace is just not, they're not winning at home. They're not. So how about a draw on this game?
all
Chelsea
right.
not playing particularly well. Palace playing poorly and playing poorly at home. How about a nice, healthy little plus 275 draw tomorrow? Crystal Palace and Chelsea early game. Um, there's an interesting game also tomorrow at the same time at 9 o'clock. This one is sort of showing the directions that these two teams are going in. Newcastle's kind of found their stride, and they're very tough at home. Whereas Aston Villa, who we were riding like crazy,
We did ride the AV surfboard.
they've stumbled here a little bit
Yes, they
lately.
have. Not a little, a lot.
Yeah, a lot. And Newcastle's a solid favorite in
But
this
we kind of backed off on them,
plus 105.
Me because of travel, and you because you didn't
Yeah,
like them so much.
plus 105 with Newcastle. Wow. I don't know. I don't see enough value there to take Newcastle in that game, although I'm not taking Aston Villa either. Maybe I take a pass on this one. How about Man U? Hot off their game again. You know what? I don't think Arsenal's playing. That's what I'm gonna shoot for tomorrow. I'm gonna go for a bomb ski tomorrow at 11:30. Arsenal at home against Man U. Man U hot off their win in the Derby against Man City. Plus 320 on the draw. All right. Put a couple shekels on that one. All right. So we got what did I say? Bournemouth Liverpool draw.
You did.
Yeah, tomorrow at 12 at oh no, that was today. No, I stayed off that one. No, I'm saying Crystal
Leeds
Palace
Arsenal.
Chelsea. Crystal Palace Chelsea draw. Crystal Palace Chelsea draw plus 275 and Arsenal Man U draw plus 320. You hit one of them, you're happy. Hit both of them, you dance. You dance. All right, enough of kickball. Moving on. Do we want to take a little look at some college basketball today, tomorrow?
Yeah, let's take a quick couple pics of
Yeah.
I got a few. I
All
got a
right, you go
few.
first.
All right. We're talking today, correct?
Yeah. Anything you want. You
UTSA
want.
UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio, is one of the worst. They're at the bottom there. And when it comes to covering,
Yeah,
I've been against them a couple of times, and I'm against them today. I know Temple's got to travel into that tundra,
yeah.
uh, but I'm taking them. I got Temple minus 10.5.
Minus
Uh,
10.5.
yeah, I know. Temple. What am I, sick? Think John
This
Chaney is
is an
still there?
interesting one.
I know. But they're going to crush. They're going to go in there. UTSA, I think they're playing with some JV guys. They're not doing so good this year. Unlike Mercer, my first
Mercer,
pick
15
is
and 2 against
Temple.
Kansas.
Temple Owls going into San Antone.
And what
So
time is that game?
that is 1 o'clock your time. So not a lot of time, I assume.
Yeah. God, those are two crappy teams. I'm looking at this BPI thing. I found the where they do the, just using the BPI numbers, they do predictions. Anyway, we
Oh,
used
you
the
did
tool
find it.
we
Okay.
used the tool last year a lot. We're going to use it again this year. And let me tell you, we're going to use it. Well, yeah, this one's got to be way down there because UTSA has such a. Hey, you're not far off. I don't know how they're playing it, how the punters are playing it. Oh yeah, that game starts pretty quick, so everybody, I'll have to get this thing uploaded. But bet it live, bet Temple live, especially if they're losing early. These teams, these
Yeah.
basketball teams, my God, these are
That's the way
turning
to do it, it
so
seems. You
fast.
know what I mean? I'm not telling folks how to bet, but lately, if you wait a little bit, especially if your team gets off to your
Yeah, you
favorite
catch a
gets off to
better
a slow
number.
start. Yeah.
Yeah, catch a better number, and then because the beginning of these games really is just so often irrelevant. And we've seen tale of two halves a whole lot. We were seeing it a whole lot in football this year, but we're seeing it every game in basketball. Even last night, you see Michigan was struggling with Ohio State, and then they put the hammer down in the second half. They didn't cover, but they uh, they got close. At one point, I think they were up by 15. They were down by 4, like at the beginning of the second half, and then they were up 15. So they really outplayed them over a pretty decent segment. You know, to the tune of a 19-point turnaround. And that Michigan team, whether I've been talking about them since the beginning of the year. I mean, everybody knows how good they are. They're good. Okay. Um, so I'm going to go right now with one that's already going. You want to bet this game live? You could probably have to bet it by the time I get this thing uploaded. It's going to be halftime or later. Uh, I'm looking at Virginia against North Carolina today at home.
You've been on them since the beginning. Not to
Yeah,
interrupt you,
other
but
teams. No,
you've
go ahead.
steered me. Yeah, you steered me 2 games toward Virginia, and they look really good. Really
Yeah, they
good.
do. And boy, and they're favored in this game, and people are on them in this game.
Yeah.
So that's
No, but
I
you
don't
nailed
know.
them.
I'm
You
sticking with
nailed
them.
them
I'm just
like
thinking
four
this is
games back, where they were still just coming into their own. And yeah, I followed you. I did. I was like, oh, look at this Virginia.
well,
They were actually dogs. And I watched that game. Very solid, very balanced, good bench. They got guys coming off the bench, and they should be favored. That was a good call. You got a good eye on that.
beginning of the conference schedule. They played on the road at NC State. NC State's not great, but they're not shit either. Um, they came out. They smoked them in the first half of that game, and then they ended up beating by a lot. But they were up by 20 at halftime. They were doubling them. They were up 40-20 at halftime. Any team that can do that against NC State on the road is somebody to. I was like, got to take a look at these guys.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, they're playing really well. All right, you're up. What's next?
All right. I'm coughing off that mighty Temple. I'm going with a dog here. I think Texas is way overrated. I understand Georgia, you know, maybe they're not the best team there. I know Temple. I know Texas is hot. They've been playing well, but I like Georgia's balance. I think you talked about them early in the year. I've been watching them a little bit. They're a dog. They're getting 3.5. The line is going in Texas direction. I
What
like.
line do you have on that game?
I got Georgia at plus 3.5.
All right.
Where are they at? Where are
That's
they at now?
no, that's a good number if you got it. Yeah.
Is it coming back?
No, I'm just
Because
seeing that that game is
yeah, 3.5
should be
still. I
that
got
many.
it here.
Let's just say it shouldn't be that many. Hey, Virginia's up 10-2. I,
What's that?
I didn't know, folks. Virginia's up 10-2. Game
All
just
right. All right.
um anything at that one too. Gee, I'm not gonna say anything about any of these games.
Yeah. Better.
Texas and Georgia's pretty soon too, so we're gonna have to get this thing up online pretty quick. Yeah, it's showing 2.5 now. 2.5. It's going back to where it should be.
Okay.
My BPI calculator says this game should be Texas by 2. Yeah, I really like Georgia. This is a tough. That's a good game. That's a very good game. I'd like to watch that game. Yeah, that should be a good one. You got the unranked team against the ranked, which that in the old days, it's funny because our friend in Hawaii sends me stuff all the time. Like in the old days, this is who we're taking in this one.
Yeah.
Doesn't work anymore. Doesn't work anymore. It used to be, everybody's always taking the ranked team, the known team, and everything. But now knowledge is so widespread. There's so much information out there. No, they're not. The people aren't going for the real dyed in the wool sucker play anymore. They're taking a look at these games. Like for this one, for instance, let's kind of see what I'm curious to see how people are betting this on DraftKings. Um, I would be inclined to be with you. I would take Georgia, despite
Yeah.
the fact that they're ranked and they're getting a few points. It's like, and we know that Texas is hot. That's not. They're not a. It's Texas. They've had some good games on the road too.
Yes, they have.
And
I'm
this
always
would be a tough,
surprised.
tough,
I've
tough
gotten
trip
beat by
for
them several times,
tough.
but I
Okay,
just maybe a
oh
little
wow, this is
overrated
great.
today.
This is great. This is exactly what I thought it might be. 50-50.
Okay.
I think how this game is 50-50. So you take, roll the dice, take your chances. No, I like Georgia too. I really like the way that team's playing. I think by the end of the season, you're going to see them up there. They're a top 25 team now, a little closer to the top 10, maybe even. Although that conference is brutal. And
Yeah. And they're right in the thick of it now.
we were seeing some pretty interesting things just on the overall rankings right now, the Basketball Power Index rankings. And maybe the most interesting thing that I was seeing was all the teams in the top 15, 20 that are from the Big 12 and the SEC, and how there ain't nobody from the ACC except for Duke. Duke is all along. Oh no, I am absolutely wrong on that. I'm sorry. That they have Virginia. I don't
SEC.
think they have Virginia ranked as high as they should be, as we were just talking about them. But they also have
Right.
Louisville very high. Louisville's really high in the BPI with 5 losses. I have to take a little closer look at Louisville's season so far. Although I mean, I kind of follow them. I got my buddy who's his family has season tickets right behind the bench for 50 years. Um, Used to be Freedom Hall. I don't know what it's called now. Is it still called Freedom Hall? Anyway, but you're a little light on the ACC. In the old days, you would have 5, 6, 7 teams in the top 20. Um, you got a lot of Big 12. You got a lot of SEC. Hey, you don't have as many SEC teams right at the top as I would have thought. In fact, you don't have any. Big Ten is pretty well represented in the top 20 on the Power Index. Big East, not so much. Yeah, you get down towards like 20, and all of a sudden you start to see a lot of SEC teams. All there. This is amazing. Hang on. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, because they don't have the numbers next to the team. Sorry about that. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, starting with the 16th team, the Tennessee Volunteers. The SEC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
Wow.
out of the next 9 teams are all SEC. So right around 20, and then 16
Wow.
up to 24. It's a lot of SEC. So they're Yeah, you got some of these teams have a lot of losses. I mean, Auburn, they were a terrific team last year. They got 7 losses.
I know.
They have
I
7
know.
losses. That's
They
fucking
were
crazy.
great last year.
They were fantastic. And
Talk of the
some of the
radio,
same
too.
guys are on that team. But
Yeah, yeah.
so anyway, all right, all right.
How
So
we
now,
doing on time?
I don't even know. We're not even going to get to the football, so we might not talk about basketball. Um, hang on. Oh boy, where are we? I got a lot of screens up here. I'm going to see what we're on. All right, we got 13. All right, let me give you let me give you a basketball game later on today. We'll do a couple quick basketballs and then we'll spend the end of the time on football. So
What does that crystal ball
I
say?
know it's here. I got things written down. I just want to see when they are and whether the lines are the same and all that good stuff. So you went Georgia and you got 3.5.
I do.
And
I did.
I am
Two and a
looking
half is
at
nice as well.
going. I should just take Georgia and be done with. That'll be my second pick. Taking UVM, Vermont over
Vermont.
Vermont on the
Beautiful.
road, -9.5 over Bryant. And not that
Nice.
Bryant's garbage. I just like UVM in this
All
situation. UVM
right.
-9.5 over Bryant. Okay, your last college is
This could be whether, I don't know, whether they're going to be playing because of the weather. I thought LSU was a lot more competitive. Maybe they're not. I don't know. This line with Arkansas just seems so high.
okay.
I'm getting 11 and a half. I'm taking LSU on the road. I guess they play in Little Rock, right? In Arkansas. I don't know if I saw the roads on the Weather Channel.
Fayetteville.
Fayetteville. Okay, well, it's in the area, but I like them, and I'm taking them right on their nose. This is not the Olympics, but LSU getting 11 and a half in Arkansas.
Ready? LSU plus 11.5 against Ark, Texas. Another one.
Kind of a throw in there in the late, but you know, we do what we can.
And I'm looking at this is a really good game at 2 o'clock. Houston and Texas Tech.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, I just don't think I can pick that game. That one's a little too tough for me. There's the aforementioned Louisville, 13.5 over Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech's not bad. Wow, that's a lot. They really respect the shit out of Louisville. They got
Yeah, they do.
5 losses. Uh, I'm going to think the Fighting Illini at 3 o'clock this afternoon are going to be able to go down there to Purdue and give them a little tussle. How about that? Illinois plus 6.5 on the road against
They got a player out that I
Purdue.
heard,
Not Purdue, Purdue.
Perdon't.
Illinois
I heard
got somebody out.
Illinois got
Yeah,
somebody out.
that must be
I
the
just
reason for the
I
line.
didn't really hear it. I breezed across it. It wasn't.
You know what I should do? I should look at the. All right, and we don't have time. Let's do football. Fuck it, I'm taking Illinois.
Okay.
Going with the big man out. Big.
Let's finish this.
Everybody else steps up.
These semifinals. Let's get into the final. Let's knock them dead here
Finals.
in the old pros from Dover, which we rallied at the end. I had a few bad weeks. You've done well over the pros this whole year. I had my days where I wasn't so good. but
You
feeling
had
good
you
coming
had some
into.
weekends that were incredible. I don't
Yes,
know why
yes,
you're
I
saying it's
did, but
like
I had some 1-4s as well. I
I
really
had a
did.
few of
So
those myself. It wasn't easy. Yeah, we got better in the bowls for college, and we got better in the playoffs for the for. Oh no, I had a terrible wild card weekend for the pros. So forget it. I can't even hang my hat on that. And I thought I was going to have a real good week last weekend, and then I fizzled 2-2. Let's nail them both. Well,
yeah,
I don't know. We
let's
might be going
let's
pieces.
nail them both and be done with it.
All right, go first game. What do you
My
like?
first game, I'm staying Rocky High, Mountain High, John Denver. I got them at a lot more than +4 what they are now, but I like Steady to come in
I went lower than that.
and keep them steady. Yeah, I think Sean Payton, who loves this guy, knows something, especially a game plan. And, the Patriots are good. Everybody thinks they're just going to, steamroll. And this is a rookie quarterback going into a really tough environment. This defensive line likes to go outside and
Well,
pinch their,
this is his second year. I mean, he played
yeah.
last.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, yes, but rookie when it comes to, I meant to
Oh yeah,
playoffs. Yeah, and I'm not going to judge him on last game. I thought that ball was really slippery. I thought he had a good game. He got it done when he had to against a defense that was, playing tough. But 3 of those scores were given to him. So I like the Broncos. I got it at a much higher number, but I still love it at
What?
plus
How high?
four.
How? What did you have it at? I think it was it like 6.5 at one point, or what did you
Six
get
and
it at?
I got it right away at 6.5. That's
All
what I
right,
got it
all
at.
right. Well, it's only 4.5 now. I'm going to take the 4.5. Um, I talked about it before last week's game. I'll talk about it before this game. I lived in Colorado for 6 years. That Mile High thing is no bullshit. That is a
Right.
crazy place to play. Those fans are great. They're going to be going nuts. They're going to be support every good thing this kid does. They're going to go ape shit. And I'm hoping that the drop off between Bo Nix and this kid just isn't that great. I mean, I don't think with Bo Nix they're going to be scoring a whole lot of points against New England's defense anyway. I think this game is going to come down to Denver dictating things on defense against a New England offense that, come on, I mean, they're not all that. Yeah.
Who's their star running back? Who are
Well,
their
they got
star
two guys. They
receivers?
use Stevenson. Well,
You
they
can't
use two
say
guys, and they're
Diggs.
both good.
Diggs is one play away or one drop away from sulking
Oh yeah,
and
oh yeah.
becoming
I
a
love the yeah the Terrell Owens factor with that
right,
guy. Sure.
right. So I'm not convinced they got a guy that's going to say, "Come on, we've been here before. Let's step up." Whereas, I think Peyton's going to draw the line and say, okay, defense, you guys got to step up. Even though I think he's got a good offensive, game plan brewing, the defense is going to be really good. I'd look at that total being under myself.
Really, put a little side bet there. You going
Yeah.
under in that. Yeah, yeah. I'm just talking about it that way. So I would say definitely. Also, you're talking about the slick ball, and maybe Drake may not throwing it all that well in the game against Houston. Well, it's going to be cold in Denver. 24
Yes.
degrees. Not
Yeah.
supposed to be a problem. Not supposed to be windy.
Yeah.
Seems to probably be okay, but still, it's going to be cold. Um, and
Where Stidham and,
a little too cold for Stephon to
Denver practice every
have
day.
his
So,
fingers around that ball.
yeah. Yeah. No, I'm liking them,
Well,
but
New England's definitely faced some they had some pretty shitty weather.
yeah,
Let's
sure.
see. Um,
Including last week, for sure. But that was their glory. Broncos have a good shot at winning this, plus 190. Look at that, folks.
play for home. You play all season for home field. Denver's got it. I've I don't know why I was so high on New England last year when they didn't play very well and didn't do that great against the spread. And then this year I've been bucking them all year, and they made me pay quite a few times, including last week. Um, but I'm going Denver. A little mile high magic, a little boy. Here's the thing. I can see New England with Drake May being in the Super Bowl maybe a little bit easier than I can see Denver with Stidham in the big game. I don't know. I'm going Denver 4.5.
Take the
Right.
points.
Next game. Only 3.5 minutes for the last game, which
All right,
isn't.
fire away. Give it to us, buddy.
I'm going Rams. And comparing games against common opponents can be very dangerous in handicap. But when you're in the same division with a team and you play twice, those games are useful when you meet up in the playoffs. Now, it's always been very difficult for teams to beat the other team 3 times. Well, we don't have that situation here.
Right.
These two teams split. However, I'm thinking that second game with the Rams up in Seattle is actually a blessing for them because they didn't win that game. I mean, if they had won that game, maybe they would have had home field for this mess. But okay, that's water under the bridge. They lost it, so they're not going for the sweep. Listen, they were in control of the first game. They let Seattle back into it, kind of. It was almost so late that Seattle really didn't have a shot. I think they had to kick the ball on sides, and anytime you need to do that, you're not really, don't really have a chance. But they backdoor covered on that game. Then the game at home, the Rams were kicking their ass all over the
Yeah.
field. And they were the first team to really make that defense look like, hey, you can get first downs and get touchdowns against Seattle's defense, even in Seattle. And then somehow, now this is also a little, you have to take a step back and take a look at the fact that Seattle was able to make that comeback in that game
Yes.
against the Rams. You got to give them some
They're
credit for that.
potent. Yes.
I just see the Rams being a little bit more focused here. It's a championship game to get to the Super Bowl. They get the upper hand in this game like they did in the first 2 games. They're not going to let their foot off the pedal, and I like the Rams. And I also think the fact that line is never creeping up over 3, even though people seem to be on Seattle, says a lot. Says a lot.
Yes.
The Rams, well, obviously the Rams could win this game. So I'm taking the Rams plus 2.5, and I like them more than I like Denver. Let's put it that way.
No, I do too. I like them to win it all, including 3 weeks from now. Yeah. Or is it 2 weeks? 2 weeks and a day.
2 weeks in it.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah.
long 2 weeks.
I love the coach. I know we don't have much time, but I'm with the Rams with you. I'm a little nervous about, the travel and coming back from a really hard fought Chicago game in OT. But they got the coaching staff, they got the players to do it. Like you say, they know this team. The key is going to be the defensive line of the Rams shutting down their speedy running back. If we put it on Darnold, I don't think he's got enough to carry the team. But on the other hand, I know Stafford does.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this quarterback this is a bit of a mismatch. Bit of a mismatch. However, that Seattle defense, they're thinking they could be the great equalizer here and do some good things. But that Rams offense comes at you from a lot of different directions. You noticed how they're utilizing like 2 or 3 tight ends right now all the time,
right.
and they send them deep.
Yeah.
Another thing that causes mismatch problems with